Hello YouTube, this is Bub's Comics coming at you with a quick comic haul. I've got some back issues, some key books that I picked up, and then also some new books that I picked up this week at the comic shop. So what's interesting, you know, a lot of people only collect old books and hate new books, and a lot of people only collect new books and variants and just a very few keys in the back. I kind of collect all across the spectrum, but there's not too many new books that I pick up, but there are a few, and you'll see them. If you've seen them in my past videos, you know kind of what I pick up. A lot of the newer independent stuff and a couple of the mainstreams. Up first is a book that I picked up on eBay, and this is Superman number 233. You may have seen it previously in my Pressing the Keys episode, my last Pressing the Keys episode. There's going to be more of those Pressing the Keys episodes to come. I really enjoyed that, and I got a lot of keys, and they all need pressing. So, so as I pick up keys and as I go through my collection, I'll be pressing a lot of those. So this one came out just amazing. Very happy with it. Actually, it's secretly the first book I damaged a little bit. So I took a little bit of color off the cover because I had an accident in the moisture chamber. I actually, when I put the book in there, everything was fine. And then, unbeknownst to me, I have it in a moisture chamber for just a small amount of time, but unbeknownst to me, it had actually, the cloth I was using as a barrier to the book dipped into the water, just the corner of it, and that wicked all the way up and got the book wet. So unfortunately, it did press out, and it wasn't that bad, but I did have a little bit of loss of color in the bottom corner. So that's a shame, but really, I barely paid anything for the book, and I was happy to have it. So it was a learning, and I've redesigned the moisture chamber since then. Haven't had a problem since. Next, there's some books that I picked up, some newer books I picked up. Here is Batman number 71, and I tell you the reason that I picked this up, other than it's an awesome Frank Cho cover. The Batman on it, he's Batman. He always looks pretty good, right? It's pretty hard to screw up Batman unless you're drawing in the 90s. So, but the reason I picked it up is because if you notice, the Batman is done in a very traditional style, normal coloring and normal art. But I don't know who else has noticed this, but this Catwoman is done in a completely different style. And if you know your art styles even a little bit, and if you know Frank Cho's preferred art styles, you'll see that this Catwoman is actually done in ballpoint pen. So I don't know how many of you are good at spotting this. So forgive me, everyone, as we get real up close and personal with Catwoman. But notice the cross hatches, and it's easiest to see it on her skin. So if you see that kind of cross hatch pattern, try and get it just right in the camera. Do you see that around her cheek, just below her eyes and her nose, and then come down into her breast? You see that cross hatch pattern again on her suit? That is ballpoint pen. That is how you draw with a ballpoint pen, and that's how you give features. It's almost a topographical way of drawing, where you're just ever so slightly changing the dimensions of each crosshatch in each box in order to give texture and depth. So I love ballpoint pen drawings. That's fantastic. The Catwoman alone is stand out as ballpoint pen, and it just looks perfect. I absolutely love it. So I bought the cover for this little strip of Catwoman inside. So I thought that was really cool. Now, Frank Cho recently put out a ballpoint pen book called Ballpoint Beauties that I already have on pre-order. So that should be coming in like in August, I think, is when, so after summer, that one should be dropping. I've got it on pre-order, so can't wait to get that. Fantastic. If you see that kind of crosshatch work, that takes a lot of time and talent. Ballpoint pen drawings are amazing. They're also some of the least forgiving art forms. So when you see someone drawing with ballpoint pen, a lot of times if they screw up, man, they just hate it, and they throw the whole thing away and start over. And that's rough, you know. I mean, you all talk about any of these top artists being the kinds of perfectionists that they must be in order to pump this stuff out. I mean, that's just amazing. So there you go, Frank Cho ballpoint art on a B cover. It's just, I don't know if everyone has missed that because the rest of Batman is just okay. But if you missed out on the beauty of this, then run back to your comic shop and pick that up because it's awesome. Plus, it's got a bat symbol on it. Come on, people. All right, next we got James Bond 007. This is not actually the copy that I meant to get, but they didn't have any of the variant for it, so I picked it up anyway. Pretty cool copy. This is number 7. I'm happy with it, but I still want the variant to it. David Nakanyama or something like that had drawn a variant copy to this. It's absolutely fantastic, with Bond and some random villainous girl standing across a counter from each other with guns behind their backs. It's absolutely fantastic. I'd love to have that, so still hunting that one down. Probably going to be a week or so before I pick it up, because my local comic shop only had this copy, and usually they're pretty good about picking up the variants on those runs, but this time I guess either it sold out immediately, which I doubt, or they didn't get very many of them, and I think it was a slightly limited variant. So next we have Hulk Marines number 3. So this was a book that, because there were only 3 of them, I read number 1. It was actually a pretty decent story. I think I read number 2 as well. So gonna see how this story wraps up. I got the B cover because the A cover by Greg Land, and I love some Greg Land art, but that A cover to this book is hideous. And although this one isn't that much better, it is certainly better than than that terrible A cover that Greg Land put out. And he's fantastic, but I just didn't like that cover. So anyway, moving on, just a couple left. We got Sabrina the Teenage Witch number 1. This is the Adam Hughes cover. I know everybody was going crazy for that Virgin variant cover, but honestly, I'm kind of a trade dress guy. Sometimes I like the Virgin variants, but for the most part, if I can get the trade dress on it, I usually will. There's very few instances where I prefer the Virgin cover. So there you go. So there's Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So I like that they do the Virgin covers because a lot of people buy those. And then these are just sitting on the rack at cover price. I love that. And last but not least, we're going to go with an oldie but a goodie. This is obviously a back issue. I think it's from 2011, or 2001 rather. So here it is, Wildstorm's Thundercats, number 2 of 5. And that, I'm pretty sure, is an Ed McGuiness cover. But look at that. That just is perfect. And, you know, Ed McGuinness's style, so perfect for drawing the Thundercats. It just matched up 100%. J. Scott Campbell took a run at Thundercats. It's okay. He does the women, the Chitara and stuff, a little better than he does Lino. And also, Alex Ross has taken a turn at them as well. A lot of great artists have actually worked on Thundercat books if you go back and take a look through the various mini volumes that are out there. But this is, other than, I have the Thundercat source book, which is also done by McGuiness, but this one is absolutely fantastic, just perfect. It just, you know, Thundercats Ho right there. That is absolutely perfect. It looks ripped right from the cartoon, which I grew up with and absolutely loved. I had the toys with the little power pack you stuck in his back and his eyes lit up, and the whole thing was hard plastic, and every time he dropped he would crack apart and I had to glue him back together. His legs would fall out. The toy was rough. It was a big heavy toy, but anyway, there you go. Thundercats 2 of 5, another Ed McGuiness cover. Absolutely fantastic, amazing artwork. So there you go. So that's my quick little haul. Hope y'all enjoyed that, and we'll catch you next time on Bub's Comics. Thanks. Read a comic. Bye.